With us now, Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington State. Congresswoman, thanks for taking time for us today. You are hearing this opposition from a lot of House Republicans to this bill, yet so often we will see that with a bill only for the president to twist some arms and ultimately get the votes. Do you think, though, Republicans are maybe going to scuttle this, or do you think they'll get it through?
Well, I think, Brianna, that it's possible that they scuttle it for today. Remember that this bill got taken up 1 hour after the Senate passed it with a tie-breaking vote from the vice president. So it was controversial there. It's going to be controversial here. And frankly, it's been a waste of time, incredibly inefficient, to bring people back from all over the country when Republicans clearly don't have the votes. Now, are they going to get the votes? My guess is probably, because most of these Republican colleagues, they come out hot, but they're not actually fighting for their constituents. At the end of the day, 17 million people across America are going to get kicked off of health care. And these Republicans that vote for it, particularly ones in the tough districts, are going to have to deal with the fact that their constituents are not going to have health care, are going to have higher utility bills, higher nutrition assistance bills, all of that because they potentially are going to cave to Donald Trump and his cult agenda instead of doing what's right for their constituents. So I don't know if they're going to find the votes today or if they're going to send us home today and then bring us all back on Monday. But if they do succeed today, Brianna, July 4th is going to be about apple pie, kicking mom out of her nursing home, and health care for no one.
If this passes, ultimately, will Democrats undo this bill if you win Congress and the White House in 2028? And which parts might you let stand?
I mean, it's hard to imagine letting much of this stand because really this is an unprecedented bill in terms of how much money is being transferred.
But the taxes on tips and overtime?
Well, those taxes on tips and overtime, Democrats have much better proposals that are wider and that actually help people. And remember, those small taxes on tips and some of those things that are in here, they have all kinds of barriers to getting into them, but they also only last for 2 years, whereas all the taxes on the billionaire tax cuts, those are permanent. So it's hard. I think we'll have to reconstruct the healthcare system if this goes through, Brianna. I just can't emphasize how, I mean, I'm getting calls, and in the airports, people come up to me when they recognize me, and they're sobbing on my shoulder because they know that so many people, whether it's people who are delivering babies, 60% of births in Mike Johnson's home state of Louisiana paid for by Medicaid, or whether it's, seniors in nursing homes, or whether it's folks with disabilities, those are the people that are going to be so incredibly hurt by this cruel betrayal of a bill.
The Spokesman Review out of Spokane reported on a roundtable that you held earlier this week where you said that Democrats must put further checks on the executive once they return to power. What exactly would that be? What kind of check do you want Democrats to put on executive power?
Well, one of the things, Brianna, is that the founders, when they implemented those checks and balances, it sort of assumed that people on both sides of the aisle, the majority and the minority party, would put first the Constitution. And what's happening now is we find that Republicans are not standing up to the president when he undermines Article I powers of Congress. They're not standing up to the president when he undermines the courts and does unconstitutional things against court decisions. And so we are looking to see how do we strengthen what a lot of Americans got complacent into thinking we had checks and balances, but this fundamental assumption is broken because Republicans don't seem to be willing to stand up even for their own powers here in Congress. And I think that's the whole set of things we're looking at. I don't have anything specific, but we are looking at how do we bring accountability with a party, a minority party, a majority party that is refusing to stand up for the Constitution.
Also, you posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terrorist force, and the White House told CNN that your, quote, disgusting comments warrant an immediate apology. They called ICE officers heroic. They're saying they're, quote, simply doing their jobs and enforcing immigration law with the utmost professionalism, and that dangerous smears by this is their words, deranged leftists like Jayapal radicalize their supporters to violently attack and obstruct federal law enforcement because of comments like Jayapal's. Assaults against ICE agents have increased 500% this year, and that number will go even higher if Jayapal doesn't stop with her smears. What is your reaction to that?
What is deranged and cruel and outrageous is that literally we are seeing ICE agents, I assume they're ICE agents, they say they are, they don't have any identification, they're wearing masks, they're in plain clothes, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States. I never in a million years thought that that is something that I would see here in America. And so I think it is the administration that has to apologize to U.S. citizens that have been rounded up, to legal permanent residents, to people with legal statuses across the country who are getting swept up, people who have been here for 20 years and committed absolutely no crimes, getting swept up by masked men who are kidnapping them and deporting them. That, to me, is what is so outrageous. It's unconstitutional, it's illegal, and it is absolutely terrorizing people, including small businesses, farmers. The roundtable I had in Spokane was with people from the Growers League, farmers who are terrified, restaurant owners who can't have who are seeing their sales go down because nobody wants to come out and eat. Literally, people are so afraid, Brianna. It's never something I thought I would see in the United States of America. The White House owes an apology to the American people for what they are doing.